What's up, everyone? Beastmode back with another tournament replay. So this match here is probably the most requested match I have had messages on. This is Beastmode versus SilchasRuin. If those of you who don't know who SilchasRuin is, he is top 3 player of Edison format without a doubt. If he's not in your top 3, you probably should reevaluate the list. Both Silchas and I we're tied for the most tops. RBET tops, and we both top worlds. So we both have 3 RBET tops, and we both top worlds. There's a big debate between which zombie deck is better. He created the hero zombie build, and I'm kind of on a more conventional Diva zombie build. Both decks have the same success in terms of tournament tops. More people are kind of geared, or more people are drawn towards his deck because of the hero aspect of it. Stratos is pretty cool, and just heroes in general. This match is really not going to point out which deck is better. One match doesn't decide that. Like I said, either of these decks are perfectly capable of topping events. I will say I think his deck is probably better in terms of actual in-person play rather than on Dueling Book, because I think the algorithm sometimes can be a little rough, and opening double Mally can create some consistency issues. But I've tried his deck before. It's just not my style. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's obviously really good. The success it has will, speaks for itself. So this match here is loser final top 4. So the winner of this match moves on to the finals and has to play 10 foot in the finals and has to beat him twice to win, essentially. So we'll get into the gameplay here. Let's review and see some plays that I could have made differently, and we'll get into that now. So my hand is not very good. It's not bad, actually. I shouldn't say that. This card, again, I'm not a huge fan of. So he went first. Set a monster. Just going to T-set here. We save the Wing Blast because there's nothing on here we really want to discard, so no sense in sending that. So right here we got a synchro play. So this deck is very explosive. I said that before. His deck just spits out level 8 synchros like nothing. Oh, so he stacks, and then he is actually going to Foolish instead. So not a big deal. That's not fine. Oh, I see. He stacks and then Foolishes. Okay, I was confused for a second myself. So there we go. He is going to make a level 8 synchro. Let's see. Now he stacks a Plague. Okay. So this is what this deck does. This is why it's so explosive. Out of nowhere, one turn, all he did was sack for a Malicious, and now he's making double synchro play. So he targets the Sangin, which is great for us. So we grab the Necrogodna here. Could make an argument to grab Gale to half the Stardust, but we have the Wing Blast Necrogodna play. I think either is fine. You could also grab Diva, but there's nothing here that we can mind control and synchro with. So I think Gale's probably the only other decision. Take some damage. So we drop the tag on the second attack. 6, 12, 18, 20. So it's, 3,000? And we end up drawing the Gale, which is ironic. So here I could have actually done a few things, right? So a good play here is to copy Sangin, make him level 3. I could cut the Stardust in half, and I could make Goyo Guardian, take the Dark End, and then destroy or send the Stardust to the graveyard, and I would end on Goyo Dark End, which is probably better than what I did. Problem I have is I don't like to ever synchro, and I miss a lot of these synchro plays because I just don't want to -1 myself. Sometimes the synchro, just straight up Goyo Guardian is a better play here than me just clearing the board like I did. That would be a more optimal play. This is not going to cost me the game by doing what I did here, but now looking back at this, it would have been a far better play to just end with the Goyo Dark End with 1 pop on it than to end on a Trag and a Gale. So That's something I just learned watching this. So we could wing blast this to the top of the deck. We decide not to. Could also wing blast that. We decide not to. We're thinking about the Caius play here. And we have a wing blast for his back row to pitch to Necrogodner. So that's what happens here. If we draw level 4, we can steal the Zombie Master, and we don't have any zombies at this time, but that's something that we could consider in the future. So we do that. We sack the Trag for the Caius, and we're going to... So we're sitting up here. Let's think of this here. We are, what, 3? We have 6 cards to his 2. We're in a pretty commanding situation here, despite the fact that I would have had a Yugioh and a Dark End Dragon, which is still way more optimal than what I have here. Again, that play does not cost us the game, right? It's just that was not the best play at the time, looking back at it now. So that's why we do these reviews, because you should be reviewing your games. Even if you win, there are differences that you could have made along the way. Every turn, there's micro transactions essentially that are taking place. You're trading with this or making a decision to pitch that, and all of these little compounding decisions determine the outcome of the game. So obviously, me not syncing there, making the Yugioh, would have put me in a better position than I am right now. But I'm still in the game, just not in the best spot. So rewatch the film. We got to do the film reviews. That way you get better. Now, since this tournament, the first thing I do with Tragodia when I drop it is I'm looking in the graveyard to see if there is a synchro play I can make with it. What card in here? What monster can I make? Can I make can I turn him to level 6? Can I turn him to level 3? I'm also looking to use the discard effect so I can take my opponent's monster. I'm much more open to using these effects than I was in the past. Before, I kind of used to just throw Tragodia out there, and it would just be more like a big beater like Gores. But this card is really good. Like, it's really, really good. And for a long time, I didn't think it was that great, but I would not probably play a deck without this card unless it was, Black Wings or something. All right, so let's see what we can do here. So he passes. So obviously that's a read that says Gores. Also, he could just have a dead hand. So at this point, we have to make a decision. Are we going to attack or not? We do have to try to win the game. So I feel that I should attack, and I do. Unfortunately, he has Gores. So one of those things I could have just passed and tried to wait to draw a better out for Gores. At some point, you have to reduce your opponent's life points to 0, and he had 3 cards in his hand. He kind of had an explosive turn already. I'm thinking that maybe his hand, just by the way he played his opening hand, it didn't seem like it was very strong. He's tributing, sets Plague, tributes for Malicious. He does this whole big combo and kind of leaves himself exposed. So I feel that his hand is probably not that good, but he had the Gores. So that's kind of a problem for us to deal with right now. So I actually bounce it back to the top of the deck. So at this point, I don't have any zombies. Kind of a problem here. I know he's I know he's drawing Gores. So we're just gonna attack here. He also has Tragodia, so Gores and Tragodia. So he's kind of crawling back into this game despite the advantage I had. So here, crashing, yeah, that doesn't seem like the right play to me, because he could have just made like a synchro play here too. Yeah, I'm not sure that's entirely right, but that's fine. That's the decision he made. Because he does have the Diva in his hand that he could have made like a 6. Of course, I have a bottomless, but maybe that's the reason why he just decided to trade. Could be the reason why. So Ill Blood stuck in our hand right now, not that great. Was hoping for an allure. He sets the Prodigy. We're drawing, passing. So at this point now, my advantage is kind of dwindling because now he's getting back into the game by drawing cards. So I had like a significant advantage, like a +4, and now he's kind of like we're evened up, right? So the Gores play was rough, and then a Trag after that really even things up here, and I probably would have won this game 3 turns earlier if I had just done the better synchro play. But so we're drawing. He still could have heavy. At this point, I'm setting it and saying if he has it, he has it. So he does that on his turn. He doesn't do it in the end phase, which I find interesting. So he's making a push here. He hits the 2 live cards. The return is dead. So he's trying to go for a game shot here, pretty much. Actually, I'm at 29, so he goes to Thought Ruler, try to gain some life back. He knows I have the Necro Gardener, so that's what we do. So we top deck Dark Arm Dragon. So we have way too many darks. This card is dead. Never going to be played. So what can we do here? We really can't do anything in this point. We have 1, 2, 3 dead cards essentially. We can't really use this card right now. It's not going to get us anywhere. Book of Life is also dead, so we have 4 dead cards right now. We do have a return that's live for the Necro Gardener, but so we could kind of flip return, sack for the Illblood, and attack the face down essentially. But then we're going to end up giving him life point gain. He's going to be able to run over the Illblood. So I think at this point I'm kind of just thinking maybe I set the bottomless and then I use a return to block the attacks. That's exactly what we do. So he's got exact game on board. Actually, he's got 2,000, so he's got 100 more. So we set the return plate. Luckily, he attacks with the Infernal Prodigy. So he's not going to attack here. Obviously, he doesn't want to put the Necro Gardener back in the graveyard. So we draw a Diva, and this sets us up. So I don't actually play Armory Arm in my side deck. In my extra deck rather. I don't play Armory Arm, so right now this face down has to be a 3 or better for me to do anything here, because I don't play the Armory Arm. So we're gonna go for everything here. It is a Spirit Reaper, which allows us to play here. We did have the Book of Life play either way, but it just worked out better that was a 3-star, because now we can make 2 synchros. So I could have synchroed first with the Spirit Reaper, but that's his Spirit Reaper, so it's not going to go in my graveyard. So I'm still not going to have a target to pitch the Illblood for here. So the only play I really can do is synchro with the Zombie Master, not using the effect. So he's at 2750. So this is going to be the proper way to play this. So you don't bounce both because you know he has Gores. I sent it back to the top of his deck, so I know 100% he has Gores. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run over the Evil Hero Infernal Prodigy, and then we are going to direct attack for game. So that's the way you play around Gores here. That's the proper way. He knows that, so he admits defeat. And we move into the next game. So game 1, we can summarize that the best play was to use Tragodia effect and Synchro to make the level 6. That game went on far too long, and he is a really good player. He was playing back from that. So that's why it's, again, very important to review the games, even if you win, because I can guarantee you, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to find some plays that you could have made differently. So our hand's decent here. We've got a few plays. So we don't set anything here, because if we set Dust and he doesn't set a back row, then we can't play Gores. So we just keeping Gores live essentially. So he has the Kai's play. He doesn't attack here, so you can tell how good he is, right? This is like high level play here. Doesn't attack. You know, he had a feeling I had Gores. Maybe it's because I didn't say anything behind the Pyramid Turtle, but you know, that gut instinct just does not attack with Gores here, which is really good. Hand is, you know, it doesn't have any traps to set. So I am now, all I have is Gores. I can't really play DD Crow at this point. I set the D Prison. If I pass without setting something, I 100% tell him I have gores. So I'm trying to just not give him the information. I know he has no true read on me. He just made a gut read, a gut instinct play, kind of. He just kind of felt that I had gores. He does not know for sure that I have gores. So we deprison this. He drew trap dust shoot for his turn, so now he is going to know we have the gores. So he draws the dust shoot and he sends back the gores. Obviously, that's the only card in the hand worth sending back. So at this point, my hand is not strong at all, and he knows everything I have. So this is going to be over probably pretty quickly. Excuse me. So we draw Mizuki. We're going to crash here. And I'm at 51, so we just take everything until we have to play something. He knows I have the dust, but he just sets just to get rid of it, bait it. You know, you can't play around this card forever. You have to, you know, make your opponent use it, or unless you're waiting for a heavy storm or something. But so I draw another dust. I have 2 dust and MST, and he's had what two trap, and I missed the opportunity to hit this, so we're in trouble. So it's game. He knows I have the Book of Moon, so I'm just playing around here. I book, and he flips it again. I can't stop the attacks anyway, so it's game here. I can DD Crow, but it doesn't matter. So we're moving on to game 3. So game 2 I drew pretty dead. He really made a heads-up play with that Gores read. Turn 1, that would have really changed the way the game went 100%. So, and this is why he's without a doubt top 3 player of the format. So, I side deck out Book of Lives most of the time, and I put in Smashing Grounds. I don't like to see this card in my opening hand because, like I said in other videos, kind of makes you play in a certain way. Try to always get it out. So at least we have the Wing Blast with a reasonable discard. So play here is probably just set Goblin, maybe set the Wing Blast. Yeah. MSTs. So at this point, when I see this card, my thought is to always play this card and try to attack directly. Because this card here can win you games. If you watched my last match versus 10-foot, he dropped or discarded 3 cards from my hand, and then I had to waste a card to get rid of his Spirit Reaper. It was brutal. And I think there was a top 8 match against Alphia that I put on the channel that shows me discarding 3 cards with this. Like, Spirit Reaper can single-handedly win you a game. If you get 1 or 2 direct attacks off, you just win. So we're going for it because we don't care if it's Torrential here. Torrential doesn't matter because I just get the Goblin Zombie Search anyway. So he changed Wing Blast here, and what's he going to target? He targets my face down. So I kind of get the plus anyway off Spirit Reaper, so I don't really care. At this point, I read that he probably has Gores because, like, why are you Wing Blasting like that? So we're still going to get to discard. He doesn't care what we discard because he has 2 cards that he could care less about losing. Obviously, losing the discarding the Plague there probably. I guess it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Probably would have been a little bit better because now he gets to summon the Plague and stack for it. So I have Smashing Ground here. We just smash it, get rid of it. Which would have been a Book of Life at this point, which would have been dead. That's why I kind of played the side deck card. He has a DD Crow in his hand. That's going to be dead. You know, that would have been Book of Life, so he would have been able to use that DD Crow on the Book of Life. You could still hit the Zombie Master, but we try to make the DD Crows a little bit more relevant, which was, I talked a lot about it in my side deck video, which is posted on the channel. There's not many videos, so you can find them right on the channel and watch what the I probably have like 7 or 8 videos posted. So he Dark Ends that. So let's see here. So we try to do a zombie play here, but see that the key was I'm reading DD Crow. Okay, so we pitch our Plague and target his Plague, which This is one thing that has to have when you're playing a zombie mirror match, or if you're playing value and you have Plague Spreader in your deck, you have to be very careful when you put this card in the graveyard, because I now Zombie Master. I pitch my Plague Spreader and I target his Plague, not my own, because he would have been able to DD Crow it. So I get a free Plague Spreader from his graveyard that you can't DD Crow your own cards. So we'll see here. So this looks like it's going to be a Doom Kaiser play. So this guy's 2100 now. I Doom Kaiser, I get his Plague again. Now remember, I have 3 Darks in the graveyard here. So we're in business here. That token's 300. So I elect to not. There's no sense in me removing a zombie from my graveyard to kill a 300 token. I just feel it's not necessary to do an extra 400 damage. So we attack. Now, at this point in time, he has Malicious in his graveyard. I do not want to give him the Plague Spreader back before battle phase. So I'm pretty sure I do not Synchro here. Because if I Synchro, he's then going to be able to stack for Plague, he's going to be able to remove Mally, and he's going to make a level 8 and then be able to do battle. Right now, see, I don't give it to him. Now he has to use Malicious, enter battle, kill the Plague, and then main phase 2 make a guy, which I can pop with Dark Arm. So, because he already used Dark End to kill the Spirit Reaper, which is another reason why the card's so good. It's hard to deal with. So he has DD Crow and he has Mirror Force. At this point, he is aware that even if he removes from Mally and... actually, I'm not entirely sure why he quits here. I'm trying to think. Because he could remove for Malicious. Oh, no, he already did the Mally play. What am I talking about? I'm like oblivious. Yeah, so it is game. I kept the Plague just in case he topped something, but he had already done the Mally play to make the Dark End. My mistake. Probably all looking at me like I'm crazy. So he draws Mirror Force, and this DD Crow is dead, mainly because A, this is not a Book of Life anymore, that's a Smashing Ground, and B, he Zombie Master targets his Plague Spreader. So he can't out the board. So that's the match, essentially. As you saw, Game 1, I did not play crisp. I would say there was definitely a couple of things I could have done differently, specifically the make the Yugioh Guardian and attack the Dark End. Would have put more pressure on the board, and I probably would have won the game much earlier because we kind of went back and forth, and it got a little hairy for a bit. Game 2 didn't open that playable. He made an amazing read on the Gores and then capitalized with the Dust Shoot. Game 3, I think my side deck really did put in some work here, and the heads up play of the Zombie Master into the Plague. His Plague Spreader zombie, which I do a lot. This, like I said, you have to be very, very careful when you put this card in the graveyard. If you're playing in a mirror match, if somebody has access to Zombie Master, you will pay the price, because then you can do crazy stuff with Doom Kaiser. So this match is, been really requested the most. Just because I won this match, I do not feel that this deck is more superior to that deck, and I do not feel that I am a superior player to SilchasRuin. He is an amazing player. So. Like I said, both of us have topped multiple events with our zombie builds, respectively, and really it comes down to your play style. This deck here is far more explosive, as you saw. He made Synchro after Synchro, and the deck is more difficult to play, in my opinion, for me personally, because I don't like to do the whole Wing Blast -1 myself. I don't particularly care for this card, and you have to be very smart with it, because you don't always have the Mally or the Plague Spreader or the Mizuki to discard for it. So most people who pick up this deck do not play nearly well enough to probably succeed with it like Silchas does. I feel a lot of people hop on it, they're drawn to it because of the hero stuff, but you have to play amazing to be able to win with this deck all the time. I've tried the deck, I just didn't particularly care for it. It's not my style, but I think the deck is really good, but I think it's even better because he's playing it. He made the deck, he knows how to play, he's better than 98% of the people playing the game. So both decks are great. I hope that this match kind of showcase a little bit of each deck. And we have the finals coming up. It was about a 200-person tournament. It will be the next matchup host will be me and 10-foot in the finals. And then after we complete RBET-5, I will review my Worlds matches. There's not quite as many. and we will get into some more matchup content. And I'm hoping that there is a big Edison tournament sooner than later, because we're kind of in a lull right now, and I'm looking for some more content. I'm looking to really play. So once we hit 100 subscribers, I plan on playing with anybody who wants to play. Probably Friday nights we'll do some streams. I just got a new mic, getting my face cam going too. So like, comment, subscribe, do all that happy stuff, and I'll see y'all in the next one.